In the quiet chambers of your mind lies a power so profound, so unshakable, that the moment you awaken it, life begins to bend in your favor. It is the power of assumption, the deliberate act of carrying yourself as though victory is already yours. Winners are not born, they are made in the unseen moments when they decide to believe in their triumph before the world ever applauds them. You see, success begins in the mind long before it shows up in your bank account, your career, or your relationships. The man who walks with the posture of a champion, who thinks with the certainty of a conqueror, and who speaks with the conviction of one who has already claimed the prize, attracts to himself the very conditions that make victory inevitable. The world responds to confidence, to decisiveness, and to the magnetic force of unwavering belief. Act like you've already won, and watch how doors open, opportunities unfold, and resistance melts away, for you are no longer chasing success. You are simply stepping into the role you have already claimed in spirit. Victory begins in the mind, because the mind is the original battlefield, where all successes and failures are determined long before the first step is taken in the physical world. Every achievement humanity has ever witnessed, from the building of empires to the creation of inventions that have changed the course of history, started as a thought, an idea, a conviction deeply planted in the fertile soil of belief. Before any gold medal was hung around an athlete's neck, before any business empire rose from the dust, before any great leader stood before roaring crowds, there was a quiet moment in which they saw themselves victorious, felt the reality of their triumph in advance, and accepted it as truth. This mental picture became their inner compass, guiding their thoughts, shaping their actions, and compelling them to persist even when the outer world offered no sign of reward. The human mind possesses an extraordinary quality. It cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined reality and one that has already taken place. When you hold a mental image of victory so clearly, so persistently, the mind begins to adjust your thoughts, emotions, and actions to align with that image. It fuels the persistence needed to push past obstacles. It sharpens the vision to see opportunities where others see none, and it builds a foundation of confidence that others cannot help but notice. This is why those who carry themselves as if they have already won exude an energy that draws the right circumstances to them. Their belief is not a fragile hope, it is a settled conviction. They have already claimed the outcome internally, and now they simply move forward to meet it in the physical world. If you study the lives of great achievers, you will find they understood this principle instinctively. Thomas Edison saw the light bulb in his mind long before it ever glowed in reality, and despite thousands of failed attempts, his mind never wavered from the mental image of success. Henry Ford envisioned millions of people driving affordable automobiles, while the rest of the world laughed at the impossibility of such a dream. Alexander the Great considered himself a conqueror before he took his first city. The victories they achieved were not the result of blind luck, but of an unshakable mental posture, the decision to see themselves as winners before the scoreboard declared it asterisk. This mental victory becomes the source of all motivation. Without it, setbacks feel like proof that success is impossible. With it, setbacks are merely temporary detours. The mind, when convinced of victory, will interpret every obstacle as a stepping stone, every delay as preparation, and every challenge as proof that the reward will be worth the effort. When your mental blueprint is clear and certain, external conditions lose their power to shake you. You begin to operate on a higher frequency of thought, one that aligns with the people, resources, and opportunities that will bring the vision into reality. This principle also explains why some people seem to rise effortlessly while others struggle for years without progress. The difference is not always talent, education, or resources. The difference lies in the mental state from which they operate. A person who believes victory is inevitable walks into the room with an entirely different energy than one who merely hopes things will work out. This energy is not mystical, it is the practical effect of belief on behavior. When you know in your heart that you have already won, you speak with authority, you act decisively, and you remain unshaken by temporary appearances. People respond to this certainty, often without even realizing it, and are more willing to trust, invest in, and follow someone who radiates it. The subconscious mind, once impressed with a dominant idea, works tirelessly to bring it into manifestation. It influences your decisions, it draws you toward the right connections, and it keeps your attention fixed on opportunities that align with your vision. This is why you must choose the image of victory deliberately and guard it fiercely against doubt. If you allow images of defeat, fear, or unworthiness to take root, they will produce actions and results consistent with them. But if you saturate your mind with the feeling and image of success, your entire being will work toward making it real. It is a law of life that you cannot consistently act in a way that contradicts the dominant image you hold of yourself. If you see yourself as a winner, you will naturally take the steps, make the sacrifices, and exhibit the discipline required to match that image. If you see yourself as someone destined to fail, no amount of momentary enthusiasm will overcome the self-sabotage that follows. This is why the first and most important victory is not over your competition, not over the marketplace, and not even over your circumstances. It is over your own thoughts. When you condition your mind to accept victory as the only possible outcome, your language changes. You stop speaking in terms of if, and start speaking in terms of when. You stop doubting your capabilities and start directing them. You stop reacting to the opinions of others and start commanding respect through the certainty you carry. This does not mean arrogance. It means alignment with your purpose and belief in your mission. That inner alignment is what makes people gravitate toward you, offer you opportunities, and see you as someone who belongs in the winner's circle. The mental victory is also what sustains you during the long, often invisible, middle stages of the journey. The early excitement fades, the applause is absent, the results are slow to appear, and this is where most people quit. But those who have already seen themselves at the finish line are not discouraged, because in their minds they are already there. Every step, no matter how small, is simply a confirmation of what they have already claimed. They move with purpose, they think with clarity, and they endure with patience because their faith in the unseen reality is stronger than the evidence of the present moment. You must understand that the mind will always work to prove itself right. If it believes in victory, it will find the path to it. If it believes in failure, it will unconsciously seek situations that validate that belief. Therefore, the greatest responsibility you have in achieving any goal is to convince your mind of its certainty. This is not daydreaming or idle wishing. It is a deliberate mental discipline. It is holding the vision so clearly that it becomes more real to you than the obstacles before you. It is rehearsing the feeling of achievement so often that your mind begins to consider it normal, inevitable, and non-negotiable. When you master this inner game, something remarkable happens. The outside world begins to reflect your inner certainty. People treat you differently. Opportunities appear where none seem to exist. The right allies, mentors, and partners seem to cross your path at exactly the right moment. You will still face challenges, but you will face them with the posture of someone who already knows the outcome. The mental victory gives you the endurance to keep moving forward, the creativity to find solutions others overlook, and the magnetism to attract the support you need. And just as importantly, it frees you from the fear of failure, because in your mind you have already succeeded. Confidence is not a mere personality trait. It is a strategic tool that shapes outcomes, influences others, and creates the environment in which success thrives. It is the silent force that communicates belief before a single word is spoken. When you step into any situation with genuine confidence, you send a clear, unmistakable message to the world. You expect things to work in your favor. This expectation subtly alters the way you speak, the way you move, and the way you respond to challenges. It draws people toward you, inspires trust, and persuades them to believe in your vision, often before they have all the details. Confidence is contagious, and those who project it inevitably find themselves surrounded by people willing to support their cause, provide resources, and open doors. The presence of confidence transforms how you are perceived. In the competitive arenas of business, leadership, sports, and personal relationships, perception often becomes reality. People do not simply respond to your abilities, they respond to the way you carry those abilities. Two individuals may have the same knowledge, skill set, and qualifications, yet the one who exudes confidence will almost always be chosen for opportunities because confidence creates the impression of competence, even before proof is provided. This does not mean pretending to know what you do not know. Rather, it means trusting your capacity to figure things out and communicate that trust to others. Confidence also affects your own behavior in profound ways. When you believe in your ability to succeed, you take bolder actions, pursue bigger opportunities, and persist longer in the face of obstacles. Fear may still whisper its doubts, but confidence drowns it out with the certainty that you are capable of handling whatever arises. This internal state becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because you believe you can, you act accordingly, and because you act accordingly, you achieve results that reinforce the original belief. In this way, confidence becomes both the seed and the harvest of success. A confident person does not approach a goal with hesitation or a weight, and see attitude. They commit fully, directing their time, energy, and focus toward the desired outcome without entertaining thoughts of defeat. This decisiveness is magnetic to others because it removes uncertainty from the equation. When you are confident, people feel safe aligning with you. They trust your judgment, respect your leadership, and are more willing to follow your direction because you radiate the assurance that their investment, whether of time, money, or effort, will not be wasted. The creation of confidence often begins with preparation. Mastery over your craft builds a natural sense of security in your abilities. However, preparation alone is not enough. You must also condition your mind to project that mastery outward. Some of the most skilled individuals in the world fail to achieve recognition or influence because they lack the courage to present themselves boldly. Confidence is the bridge between your internal potential and the external opportunities that can elevate you. Without it, talent often remains hidden. Confidence also influences how you handle setbacks. Those without it view failure as confirmation that they are not capable. Those with confidence see failure as feedback, a temporary result that provides valuable lessons. The confident person understands that a single setback is not the end but rather a step in the learning process. This mindset allows them to bounce back quickly, make adjustments, and continue forward with renewed determination. It is not arrogance. It is the awareness that their value and ability are not defined by any single moment or mistake. The energy of confidence changes your communication. Your words become more deliberate, your tone more assured, and your body language more aligned with authority. Eye contact, posture, and gestures begin to signal to others that you are someone who knows where you are going. This non-verbal message often carries more weight than the actual content of your speech. People may forget the exact words you say, but they will remember the way you made them feel, and confidence leaves them feeling secure, inspired, and ready to act. Confidence also expands your vision. When you believe in yourself, you give yourself permission to dream bigger and set higher goals. Without confidence, you are likely to shrink your ambitions to match what feels safe. With it, you are willing to challenge limits, push boundaries, and take risks that others avoid. This willingness is often the very thing that leads to breakthroughs, because the greatest rewards are reserved for those willing to move beyond the comfort zone. It is important to note that true confidence is built, not borrowed. While you can momentarily adopt the posture of confidence to influence a situation, lasting confidence comes from a consistent history of keeping promises to yourself, showing up even when it is difficult, and proving through action that you can handle challenges. Every time you follow through on a commitment, you strengthen your belief in your own reliability. Over time, this self-trust becomes an unshakable foundation, and it is from this foundation that the most authentic and compelling form of confidence emerges. Another dimension of confidence is its ability to neutralize fear. Fear thrives in uncertainty, in the absence of belief in one's own abilities. But when you are confident, you no longer see the unknown as a threat. You see it as an arena for growth. This shift in perspective changes everything. Opportunities that once seemed intimidating now appear exciting. Conversations that once made you nervous now become chances to connect and influence. Obstacles that once seemed insurmountable now become puzzles to solve. Confidence reframes your relationship with challenges, turning them into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. In moments of pressure, confidence becomes a stabilizing force. While others may panic, freeze, or retreat, the confident individual maintains composure, thinks clearly, and acts decisively. This calm under pressure often creates a competitive advantage because it allows you to respond with strategy rather than react with emotion. Those around you will notice this composure and will instinctively look to you for guidance in times of uncertainty. In this way, confidence not only advances your own goals, but also positions you as a leader, whether or not you hold a formal title. Confidence also has a magnetic effect on opportunities. People are naturally drawn to those who seem certain of their direction. This attraction is not purely emotional, it is practical. In every human interaction, there is a silent question being asked: can I trust you to lead me to a better result? Confidence answers that question with an undeniable yes. It signals to others that aligning with you is a safe bet, that you have the capability and resilience to reach the goal, and that you will not falter when the path becomes difficult. Even in environments where resources are scarce or conditions are challenging, confidence can create leverage. A confident pitch can secure funding. A confident interview can win the job. A confident negotiation can secure better terms. The presence of confidence often tips the scales in your favor because it influences the decisions of others, encouraging them to see you as the solution to their needs. This advantage is available to anyone willing to cultivate and project the belief in their own ability to deliver results. Ultimately, confidence creates the very conditions necessary for success, because it changes both you and your environment. Internally, it drives you to take the kinds of actions that lead to achievement. Externally, it inspires others to join, support, and invest in your vision. This dual effect, strengthening your resolve while attracting the right circumstances, makes confidence one of the most powerful assets you can possess on the path to any goal. Your actions are the visible proof of the identity you carry within yourself, and when that identity is rooted in the belief that you are already a winner, every choice, every habit, every response begins to reflect that truth. You cannot separate your results from your behavior, and you cannot separate your behavior from the self-image that drives it. If you see yourself as someone destined for success, you will naturally take the kinds of actions that align with that vision. You will rise earlier, work longer, prepare more thoroughly, and approach each task with the focus of someone who knows they are building something significant. This alignment between your identity and your actions is what transforms a dream into a tangible reality. The power of acting like a winner lies in consistency. Anyone can perform at a high level for a day or two when motivation is fresh, but true winners operate at that level regardless of mood or circumstance. They show up even when it's inconvenient. They maintain their standards even when no one is watching. They follow through on their commitments even when the initial excitement has faded. This consistency builds a reputation, both in the eyes of others and in your own mind, that you are someone who can be counted on to deliver. Over time, this reputation becomes an asset, opening doors that remain closed to those who lack the discipline to align their actions with the image of success. Acting like a winner also means refusing to indulge in behaviors that contradict your desired identity. If you see yourself as a leader, you cannot allow yourself to speak or act in ways that diminish your authority. If you see yourself as financially successful, you cannot habitually make decisions that undermine your financial stability. This is not about pretending or putting on a false image. It is about holding yourself accountable to the standards of the person you are becoming. Every action is either a deposit or a withdrawal from the future you desire, and winners are deliberate in making deposits every single day. There is also a psychological dimension to this principle. When you behave in ways that match the identity of a winner, you strengthen that identity in your subconscious mind. Your mind begins to accept it as normal, as the only way you operate. This creates a reinforcing cycle. The more you act like a winner, the more you believe you are one, and the more you believe you are one, the more naturally those winning actions flow from you. This cycle eliminates the constant struggle of willpower, because your behavior is no longer an act of force. It becomes the expression of who you believe yourself to be. In practical terms, acting like a winner involves preparation, professionalism, and persistence. Winners do not arrive at meetings unprepared. They walk in with clarity, data, and solutions. They do not wait for opportunities to fall into their laps. They create opportunities through initiative and resourcefulness. They do not crumble under pressure. They remain composed, adapting and adjusting until they find a path forward. These habits are not random. They are the deliberate actions of someone who has already decided they belong in the winner's circle. Another critical aspect is the ability to maintain high performance even when results are delayed. Many people give their best effort only when the rewards are immediate, but winners understand that the process often demands a long period of investment before visible results appear. They act with the same intensity on day 1 as they do on day 100, not because of what they see in the present, but because they have already claimed the outcome in their minds. This persistence sends a powerful message to others and to themselves. Quitting is not an option because the victory is already theirs in spirit. Acting like a winner also means surrounding yourself with environments and influences that support that identity. Your habits are shaped by the people you associate with, the spaces you work in, and the information you consume. Winners choose to be in places that challenge them to grow, among people who inspire them to aim higher, and in situations that require them to stretch beyond their comfort zone. They understand that environment can either reinforce or erode the identity they are building, and they choose intentionally. Your body language, tone of voice, and physical presence are also part of acting like a winner. Even before you speak, people form judgments about you based on how you carry yourself. Winners project assurance without arrogance, calm without passivity, and strength without hostility. They walk into a room with the quiet certainty that they belong there, and others sense it immediately. This nonverbal communication often influences outcomes as much as skill or knowledge because it creates trust and respect before the first word is exchanged. Acting like a winner is also about embracing responsibility. Winners do not deflect blame, make excuses, or wait for others to fix their problems. They take ownership of their results, good or bad, and use setbacks as lessons for improvement. This accountability not only builds personal growth, but also earns the respect of others, because responsibility is a rare quality that signals maturity, reliability, and leadership potential. People want to work with and for those who own their actions completely. The alignment between identity and action extends to how you handle opportunities. Winners prepare in advance so that when the right moment appears, they are ready to step into it fully. They understand that opportunities often come disguised as hard work or small beginnings, so they treat every task, no matter how small, with excellence. This attention to detail builds momentum and often leads to bigger opportunities because people trust those who consistently deliver. One of the most overlooked aspects of acting like a winner is maintaining your standards under pressure. It's easy to be disciplined when conditions are ideal, but true character is revealed in moments of stress. Winners uphold their values and maintain their quality of work even when it would be easier to cut corners. This integrity is part of what separates them from those who falter when challenges arise. By holding to their principles, they not only preserve their self-respect, but also create a track record that others admire and reward. Acting like a winner also requires a long-term perspective. Short-term gratification can tempt you to make decisions that undermine your future, but winners keep their eyes on the bigger picture. They delay certain comforts, invest in their growth, and make sacrifices today to secure greater rewards tomorrow. This forward-thinking mindset ensures that their daily actions are always in service of their ultimate vision, rather than the fleeting emotions of the moment. Finally, acting like a winner means embodying the habits, mindset, and discipline that your desired success demands before that success materializes. You do not wait for the title, the recognition, or the applause to start behaving like the person you aspire to be. You begin now, in your speech, in your work ethic, in your decisions, in your discipline. This preemptive embodiment is what signals to the world and to your own subconscious that you are ready for the victory you have claimed. It bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be, ensuring that when the external rewards arrive, they are simply catching up to the person you have already become internally. The world is a mirror, reflecting back to you the energy, beliefs, and certainty you project. Every thought you hold, every word you speak, every action you take sends out a signal that others consciously or unconsciously respond to. When you carry yourself with the unshakable certainty of someone who has already won, the world begins to treat you accordingly. People interpret your confidence as proof of competence, your composure as evidence of strength, and your decisiveness as a sign of leadership. This is not mere chance. It is the natural response of human beings to the presence of conviction. Others look to you for cues on how to perceive you, and when you project certainty, you give them no choice but to see you through that lens. This mirroring effect works in both directions. If you project doubt, hesitation, or insecurity, the world will reflect those signals back to you in the form of missed opportunities, lack of trust, and diminished influence. If you walk into a room unsure of your value, others will sense that uncertainty and adjust their treatment of you accordingly. But when your posture, tone, and actions communicate absolute belief in your vision and abilities, people are drawn to you, often without fully understanding why. They begin to offer you opportunities, resources, and support because your certainty reassures them that aligning with you is a wise decision. The energy you project also shapes the quality of your relationships and collaborations. Those who operate from a place of fear or self tend to attract others who share those qualities, leading to partnerships that are fragile and easily shaken. In contrast, those who project confidence and clarity attract individuals who value those same traits, creating alliances built on mutual trust and ambition. This is why leaders with vision and certainty are able to inspire teams, rally communities, and lead movements. People are naturally drawn to the security and direction such leaders provide. Certainty also influences how opportunities respond to you. Life tends to open doors for those who walk toward them with intention rather than hesitation. When you act as though success is inevitable, you approach challenges with a problem-solving mindset instead of a fearful one. This changes the way you interact with opportunities. You no longer wait to see if they will work out. You assume they will and adjust your efforts to make them align with your desired outcome. The world reads this as competence and rewards it with more chances to prove yourself. The mirror effect extends beyond people and into circumstances. The way you think about your future influences the situations you notice, the chances you take, and the risks you're willing to embrace. If you expect success, you will spot opportunities that others overlook. You will enter rooms others avoid. You will engage in conversations others shy away from. This proactive behavior creates a chain reaction of favorable outcomes, each one reinforcing your initial certainty. To an outside observer, it may seem as though luck is on your side, but in reality, you have simply tuned your mind to see and seize what aligns with your belief in victory. Your certainty also serves as a filter for how you interpret events. Two people can face the same setback, yet one will see it as proof they should give up, while the other views it as a temporary obstacle on the path to an already assured destination. This difference in interpretation is what keeps winners moving forward while others falter. When you operate with the mindset that the outcome is already yours, temporary failures lose their sting. They become the points rather than defeats, feedback rather than final judgments. This resilience further signals to the world that you are not easily shaken, and the world responds by offering you challenges and opportunities worthy of your strength. The projection of certainty also has a profound psychological impact on those around you. People are often looking for someone to follow, someone who can provide direction in moments of uncertainty. When you carry yourself with the confidence of someone who knows where they are going, others are more likely to place their trust in you. This trust becomes a currency, allowing you to influence decisions, secure commitments, and rally support. The more consistently you project this certainty, the more people will associate you with stability and success, even in situations where the path forward is unclear. This mirroring effect also applies to negotiation and persuasion. In business, in leadership, and even in personal matters, the person with the greatest certainty often wins the agreement. When you speak with conviction, others are less likely to challenge your position because they sense that you are unwavering. This does not mean being inflexible, but rather being rooted in the belief that your direction is sound and your outcome is non-negotiable. This quiet authority compels others to take your proposals seriously and treat your vision as credible. Certainty shapes not only how others see you, but also how you see yourself. The way the world responds to your projection of confidence reinforces your internal identity as a winner. When people treat you with respect, when opportunities flow toward you, when doors open in your presence, your belief in yourself deepens. This creates a self-reinforcing loop. You project certainty, the world reflects it back, and that reflection strengthens your certainty even more. Over time, this loop becomes the foundation of a life where success feels natural rather than forced. Projecting certainty does not mean pretending to have all the answers. It means having unwavering faith in your ability to find them. This subtle distinction is important because authenticity matters. People can sense false confidence just as easily as they can sense genuine belief. Real certainty comes from preparation, experience, and a deep understanding of your own resilience. It comes from knowing that whatever challenges arise, you have the capacity to meet them. This authenticity makes your projection of confidence not only believable but inspiring. When you operate from this place of certainty, you begin to notice that resistance from the outside world diminishes. Obstacles that once seemed immovable now shift or disappear entirely, not because the world has suddenly become easier, but because you approach it with a different energy. You no longer see barriers as permanent. You see them as temporary conditions that will adjust in response to your persistence. The world mirrors this attitude by presenting you with solutions, allies, and circumstances that align with your belief in a favorable outcome. The law of correspondence suggests that your outer world will always match your inner world. If you are internally conflicted, the world will present you with confusion. If you are internally decisive, the world will present you with clarity. This is why projecting certainty is so powerful. It aligns your inner state with the external conditions you desire. You no longer wait for proof before believing. You believe first, and the proof follows. In moments of high stakes, this projection of certainty can be the difference between winning and losing. When pressure is high, most people falter, their uncertainty becoming visible in their words, posture, and decisions. The person who remains calm, confident, and decisive in such moments stands out immediately. The world rewards this steadiness by granting them leadership, trust, and influence, further solidifying their role as someone who gets results. The mirror the world holds up to you is not fixed, it changes according to what you project. When you consistently radiate the energy of someone who has already achieved their goal, the reflections you receive will increasingly match that image. People will speak to you differently, treat you differently, and offer you things they would never offer to someone uncertain of themselves. Your environment will begin to reorganize itself around your certainty, bringing you into contact with the people, places, and opportunities that match the vision you have already embraced internally. Victory is not an accident, nor is it the exclusive privilege of the few. It is the inevitable result of a mind convinced, a spirit committed, and actions aligned with the identity of a winner. When you decide to act as though you have already won, you set in motion a chain of events that transforms both you and the world around you. You win first in your mind, building an unshakable image of success that becomes your guiding force. You cultivate confidence so strong that it shapes your decisions, influences those around you, and draws opportunities into your orbit. You match every step you take to the standard of the person you know yourself to be, refusing to live below the level of your potential. And you project a certainty so real, so consistent, that the world cannot help but reflect it back to you in the form of respect, trust, and results. Live in this state long enough, and the line between belief and reality disappears, because the moment you carry yourself as though the victory is already yours, you discover that the victory has been waiting for you all along.